Earth Day has inspired me to make a compost pile. It'll help me cut back on all the waste I throw away, and hopefully leave me with a good compost pile for my yard or garden. I decided to record the whole process to help anyone else out who's trying to do the same thing. I've never done this before, but after a quick Google search, I can tell you need browns and greens in equal parts, and then add water. Browns are materials like dead leaves, branches, newspaper, cardboard, and greens are materials like grass clippings, vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, or eggshells. I got a big bucket that I'll be putting a lot of vegetable scraps in, but most of the initial greens will be coming from grass clippings. As for the browns, I'll mostly be using cardboard, but we need to tear that up first, so let's head over to the garage for that. I have a lot of cardboard left over from the holidays, and this sounded like a good use for it. Now when using cardboard, you have to first remove the tape from it because that won't break down. You should avoid using pieces that are coated with that glossy finish. Also avoid pieces that have a lot of dye in them because you don't want that to get in and ruin your compost. At least that's what I read online. As you probably noticed, I opted for the more labor-intensive method for tearing up the cardboard, which is just going at it with an X-Acto blade. This is because I was being a bit cheap and completely underestimated the effort. Now if I did this again, I'd probably invest in a paper shredder. If you decide to take that route, make sure you invest in one of those heavy duty ones that can handle at least 12 sheets or else the cardboard won't fit in it. Alternatively, if you want to spend a bit more money, you could get a wood chipper, not only because it'll tear up the cardboard nice, you can also use wood chips in your compost pile. If you decide to go the cheap route like I did and just use a box cutter, here's what I found works best. You cut the cardboard into strips, maybe an inch or two thick, and then you soak those strips in water. Once you have the cardboard that's been soaked in water, you can actually just tear off those strips by hand into different pieces. It kind of starts to fall apart as you do that, but that's good. The smaller the better for this, so it breaks down easier. After about an hour and a half, this is what I ended up with. I've got this kitchen scraps bucket filled up, which mostly ended up being just coffee grounds, eggshells, and a couple dead houseplants. And then I also have a bag of grass clippings, and then that box of torn up cardboard. And now we just need to mix it all together. I'm doing my best here to add everything in layers just to make the mixing up process easier. I'm also stopping along the way to add a little bit of water, just a couple times. I don't really know how much water is needed, I'm just trying to get everything in there a little bit damp. After mixing it all up, it doesn't look like I have enough green in there since I'm going for that 50-50 mix. So in the next couple days I'll come back and add some more grass to it. And then I also plan to keep on adding kitchen scraps to it. Initially I planned to come back out here and mix it up every day, and so that's what I did at the start, but after I looked into it a bit more, it seemed like it was more recommended you wait at least a week or two before mixing it up so you don't interrupt the composting process too often. That being said, the first few days I came out here every day and mixed it up, then I slowed down to every 3 to 5 days I'd come out, and then after a month into the composting process I only came out once every 2 weeks to mix it up. And then anytime I would mix it up, I'd add any vegetable scraps I had gathered over the last couple weeks. And about a month and a half in, I could start to see a big difference, and when I would mix up the pile, I could see worms and other insects crawling throughout it, which I took as a good sign that it was really starting to break down. By around 3 months, all the initial cardboard had broken down so that you couldn't distinguish it from the rest of the scraps in the compost pile. And here's the compost on the last day. You can see some eggshells and other food scraps in there, which I had added just in the last couple weeks, but all the initial cardboard, food scraps, and grass had all broken down by this point. And that wraps up this project. If you have any questions about the process or suggestions on what you'd like me to see me use the compost for, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.